modern software development, there's no single place for us to store our data anymore. It's not just always going to be a relational database. It's not always going to be Mongo. It's not always going to be Redis. It's not always going to be any particular vendor or open source project or even shape of data. We have learned that there is value in the runtime characteristics of systems that deal with key value, document store, and even graph databases. And so graph databases have become part of the story. They may not have as much of the excitement and hype that they've had in the last couple of years, but in part because we're getting better at understanding what they're good for and how they can most be beneficial to your organization. In the world of graph storage technologies, though, there's basically been this bifurcation between what we refer to as property graphs, supported by companies or organizations like Neo4j, and the more standard-oriented RDF semantic web serialization. And there are benefits to both approaches, and there are deficiencies in both approaches. But this gap is hopefully finally going to be bridged. There's some emerging standards that are gaining traction and are already being implemented in several open source tools and commercial tools that will allow you to think of your data in either a property graph or a standard serialization graph format, which will increase its reusability, increase the ability for property graph data to be linked to other data to escape the silo of a single graph. And that's very exciting. So come hear how the modern software developer doesn't have to make a decision about what type of graph to use and can just simply benefit from both types as needed as part of the larger data integration strategy.